Lady Gaga, the queen of hip hop, is known in the industry for doing weird things, but what was really weird was her encounter with Isla Fisher. Let's take a look at the truth about Lady Gaga and Isla Fisher's awkward encounter, mistaking her for someone else. When you're as big a name as Lady Gaga, there's a high chance that you'll be recognized in most of the places that you go. While there are a ton of people out there who are aware of who Lady Gaga is, it doesn't necessarily mean that Lady Gaga is completely aware of their existence. Something similar happened when Lady Gaga met Isla Fisher. While Isla Fisher recognized Lady Gaga within first glance, Lady Gaga failed to do the same and mistook Isla Fisher for someone else. But who is this other celebrity that Lady Gaga mistook Isla Fisher for? Well, in an interview with Lorraine, Isla Fisher talked about her encounter with Lady Gaga, and while the encounter must have been a privilege, she revealed that Lady Gaga has mistaken her for Amy Adams. In the interview with Ross King, Isla Fisher was talking about her upcoming movie Godmother, and while she seemed to have a casual conversation about the movie, her encounter with Lady Gaga was also brought up. It turns out that Lady Gaga isn't the only one who mistook Isla Fisher for Amy Adams, as even Beyoncé made that mistake. Well, do you think Isla looks anything like Amy Adams? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Before we get into more details regarding the truth about Lady Gaga and Isla Fisher's awkward encounter, if you're liking our content so far, then make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Also be sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notifications button so you can be notified every time we post a new video, as well as be updated about what's going on in the lives of some of your favorite celebrities and what new awkward things are happening in their world that you should be aware of. Isla Fisher's take. While it might have been pretty embarrassing for a celebrity to be mistaken for someone else, it's more common than we'd like to imagine. In the case of Isla Fisher, instead of making a big deal about it, she seemed to recall her memory of being mistaken as Amy Adams by Lady Gaga as a very fond memory and seemed to be enjoying recalling it. She then went ahead and talked about what she thinks of Lady Gaga as a person and mentioned that according to her, Lady Gaga is extremely friendly, and while there may have been an awkward encounter to begin with, things really started to flow smoothly between them. At the time when Lady Gaga mistook Isla Fisher for Amy Adams, Lady Gaga was dating one of Isla Fisher's friends so naturally. Isla Fisher was already aware of who Lady Gaga was. In the encounter that Lady Gaga had with Isla Fisher, the two engaged in a 20-minute long conversation where Lady Gaga mindlessly congratulated Isla Fisher on a movie that Amy Adams had worked on, which is known as The American Hustle. Moreover, Isla Fisher also mentioned that every time she has met Lady Gaga after that, in a gathering of friends, Lady Gaga would very often try and make plans to go to dinner, and Isla would always be confused about whether or not she would remind Lady Gaga of her awkward encounter. Well, regardless of what happened between them initially, it's obvious that Lady Gaga is now aware of who Isla Fisher is and will not be mistaking her for some other actress anytime soon. Amy Adams. And now that we know the truth behind Lady Gaga and Isla Fisher's awkward encounter, let's talk about how this wasn't the first time someone had confused Isla Fisher for Amy Adams. We've already talked about Beyoncé, but it seems like celebrities aren't the only ones who are confusing Isla Fisher as Amy Adams. In an interview with Jimmy Kimmel, Isla Fisher recalled an encounter that she had with a supposed fan at IKEA. Isla Fisher was breastfeeding her twins in a quiet alley in IKEA when some random person approached her and started freaking out, thinking that they were looking at Amy Adams. What is even funnier is that not only did the female fan mistook Isla Fisher for Amy Adams, she also kept on insisting that Isla Fisher could sing the song from Enchanted. We know people can have an epic fan moment, but this was a little over the top, wouldn't you think? What would you do if you saw the real Amy Adams in public? Reacting. While it may have been awkward for the people who mistook Isla Fisher for Amy Adams, we're pretty sure that it must have been awkward for Isla Fisher as well. So how exactly did she react to the situation? Well, considering the Lady Gaga situation, Isla Fisher just went on with it and didn't correct Lady Gaga because that would have made the situation a lot more awkward. But in the case of the lady at IKEA, Isla Fisher actually responded by singing the Enchanted song that the woman was insisting on. Naturally, when she started singing the song, the realization dawned on the woman that this was not Amy Adams, and she slowly backed away. While we certainly feel bad for Isla Fisher for finding herself in these incredibly awkward situations time and time again, However, let's not forget that being mistaken for Amy Adams must have its perks, since she clearly ended up getting 20 minutes of Lady Gaga's time.